Hello everybody, welcome back to Flip City with Mr. Chris. That's me, I'm Mr. Chris. In this video, I'm going to show you 20 items that I picked up recently to resell on eBay. And 5 of these items are going to be brands and items that you do not want to leave behind at thrift stores because they're great money makers with a high average sales cost and a good sell-through rate. So let's check it out. Okay, we're going to start off with a very popular brand. No need for an introduction here with the Polo Ralph Lauren. But this is a pretty unique shirt. Again, remember the 4 keys: brand, pattern, material, size. Brand, Polo Ralph Lauren, everybody knows it. Pattern, this is a great pattern. It's a patchwork flannel. This is considered a work shirt, and it has these like suede elbow pads. So this has a lot going on for it. The material is just cotton, but the size is large. So of the 4 keys, this is a pretty solid shirt right here. This shirt is probably going to get me somewhere around $50. That might be a little bit of a low estimate because some of these were all over the place. And I'll show you, as always, I'll put the sales prices up there, the sold comps, so you can see for yourself exactly what these items are selling for. But occasionally you get an item that's somewhat unique. There are definitely other patchwork Polo Ralph Lauren shirts, but I couldn't find an exact match to this one, so my guess is going to be around $50. I'll try to play it a little conservative. Also, just a reminder, I'm a part-time reseller. I only sell on eBay. I usually go thrifting about twice a week, half off at Salvation Army and at the Goodwill bins, because I'm trying to get my items for as low as cost as possible so that I could sell them for a high sales price of like $25 or more. That's the goal I'm shooting for. So most of these items, not all of them, but most of them are going to be $25 or more sales price, okay? Sticking with Polo Ralph Lauren, right? Again, the normal brand. This is a linen Oxford shirt. Great material, great pattern, a good size here with an extra large, right? This is going to give me about $30, okay? You could tell if I put a little closer, this linen material, you might not really see it on the hanger, but you could tell when you feel it. It's kind of like, it's almost scratchy, to be honest. It's not very soft, but it's very popular. Both those items I picked up at the bin, so probably about $1, $1.50 each. Here's an item I scooped up at some 4th of July weekend sale at City Thrift. This is a vintage Patagonia. You'll know it's vintage because it's made in the USA, but also they have their style numbers on there, and you can do a Google Lens search. Google Lens is your friend if you don't know if you don't know about an item, or if you're not exactly sure what the style is, definitely Google Lens it. And then once you figure that out, you can do the sold comps. But here's a Patagonia. It's called a Maverick jacket. It's kind of like this quilted nylon bottom with a like Sherpa plush top. This is a women's size small. This will give you about $30. Like I said, I picked it up at half off 4th of July weekend, so I actually paid $3.96 for this. This is probably one of the best deals I got from an actual thrift store, not the bins. So it's a good item. Now, of course, it's still summer, so the jackets aren't going to sell very quickly. As you know, if you watch my videos, I like to sell my items within 30 days. But sometimes an item is just a little too good to pass up, right? So on that one, I might have to hold on to for a while. Again, here we got a Patagonia. This is a Capeline, I guess is how you say that word. Lightweight, so very, very thin base layer, half zip, right? Great quality. No special pattern, but this one's going to be good for like the spring and summer because of the lightweight. Actually for the fall also. This is just about a $20 item or so, maybe $18. But because it's so light and I got it at the bins, it basically costs nothing, right? Because you know if you go to the bins, it's by weight. And my goal is to try to find the best deals possible, especially since I'm a part-time reseller, right? I'm not doing volume. I don't want to be paying $5, $6, $7, $8 per item. I want to get them as low as possible. All right. Here's an item I picked up at Salvation Army. The brand, right, if you're going with the 4 keys, brand is first. Lucky brand, not usually something I pay attention to. But this unique pattern caught my eye right away on the hanger. If you could tell, it's kind of like this dragon, and I think it's a phoenix, like an Asian pearl snap, but the pearl snaps are like diamond shaped. And I'm not sure if you could tell from the photo, but I mean from the video, but this is like a very thin corduroy material, and it's an extra large. So for this one, there are no sold comps in this exact pattern. There's like a blue and white sold comp, but there were two other items just like this around $50. So I am shooting for like $48, $50 on this lucky brand. It's a dragon pearl snap. I can't remember. There's a specific designer. I'll put the name up there in the sold comps or in the listed comps, and you can see the name of the designer. So I think that's why that's a little bit more popular. And that one's a vintage item. Okay, so here's one of the 5 brands that you definitely do not want to be passing up when you're at the thrift store. You may or may not have heard of it. It's not a super popular brand. It's called Unreal, UNRL. It's a golf brand, right? This is just your basic heathered gray, charcoal gray, quarter zip. But the best part about this is it's new with tag. And if you can see the tag there, retails for $78. This does have a company embroidery, but as you could tell from the video, you can barely see it, right? This should give me about $30, new with tag, great size. This is it's a medium, not the best size, right? Large or extra large is always the best size that I'm looking for in menswear, but still because new with tag, great retail, golf season, $30, easy sell. Okay, here's the item I've never sold before. I've never sold this brand. It's a Chick-fil-A like work jacket, soft shell jacket. It's quilted on the inside. The brand is Ube, OOBE, right? But I have in the past sold McDonald's workwear, a jacket, and I did pretty well on it. So after I looked up the sold comps for this jacket, I should get about $25. You could probably tell it's kind of like this blue, grayish cobalt blue. I don't know what the exact color is, with the red quilted interior. Chick-fil-A, my pleasure.
My pleasure.
Got it. Anyway, there's a women's jacket, size medium, should get about $25. Okay. If you've been thrifting for a while and reselling for a while, I've been doing it for 5 years. You'll come across brands, and if you're on YouTube or on social media, you'll find a lot of brands and a lot of complaining, no, this brand is dead. It's not as good as it used to be. Some people say resellers are the problem. Some brands are just like every other brand in fashion. They get popular, they have their peaks, and they dip down. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't pick them up. And this is a good example, Robert Graham, right? So there's a few reasons that I would pick this up. One is because I got it at the bins. 2, it's because it's this gingham print, right? And 3, it's a size large. Am I gonna get a lot of money for this shirt? Probably not. $20, right? You know, if you've seen these Robert Grahams, they have the collars and the cuffs that are like contrasting, and in the bottom they have a lot of crazy patterns. The one thing you want to know about Robert Graham is the crazier the pattern, and a large or extra large, and the material too, you're still going to be able to find some of these that are worth money. In the past, and I'll see if I can find it because it was a few years ago, I stumbled upon a Robert Graham shirt that had like penguins with this winter scene, and I think I sold it for a couple $100. I'm not exactly sure, maybe $100. Either way, that was a really unique pattern. So keep an eye out for very unique Robert Graham patterns. The basic standard bread and butter Robert Graham is only going to get you about $15, $20, nothing crazy, but you can still make some money on them, right? Don't worry about if it sells for as much as it used to, like Lululemon, like Grayson. There's some other brands, Robert Graham, right? What's another one? I can't think of it right now, but there's plenty of other brands that used to sell for more money, and people get really caught up in that fact. Don't worry about it. Just worry about if you can still find them and if you can make money on them. Things change. You just have to adapt as a reseller. This is a great brand I found once before, and some of these brands that I'm showing you, right, they're going to seem really basic. So that gives you an opportunity to find something that people may just skip right over, and this is an example of one. I got this at the bins. Everybody kept tossing it back. I thought at first it was just a Columbia fishing shirt until I saw the tag and I recognized that tag, Poncho. So what this is like it's kind of like a fishing shirt material. It's a pearl snap with kind of like a Western design. These Poncho shirts are amazing. The resale value is crazy. The sell-through rate is amazing. This is $45 or $50, and some of them go up from there. So to start at $45 is a great deal. So pick these up, guys. Poncho, if you see them, pick them up. Even in a basic pattern, basic color. This is just a large gray, light gray, nothing fancy, right? But 45, 50 bucks. Poncho. All right, so already we have two brands to be on the lookout for, Unreal and Poncho. All right, the third brand, and this is a BOLO for me and a new brand that I've never heard of before. This is called Collars & Co. So it's kind of like this stretchy golf polo material, right? And it's like a peach or an orange colored check pattern. The interesting thing about this is the collar itself. It's very stiff. And as I looked at the tag, it said, let's see, where's that tag? It says dress collar polo. So apparently that's what they're going for with this. That's the style. So Collars & Co. This one's going to get you $30. As with every other brand, especially these golf brands, follow the 4 keys. Once you get a good brand, make sure you got an amazing pattern. The material, especially for most of the golf brands, is going to be the same dry fit wicking type of moisture wicking material, and then the size. So right here, $30. I think I picked this one up for $5. So that's a brand I'm adding to my list. Happy to learn about. Another brand, and I've sold this twice before, is called Onward Reserve. This is Onward Reserve Performance. So this is the 4th of the 5 brands that I want you guys to keep a lookout for and never pass up. Again, looks very basic. There's a lot of these kind of golf brands. Some of them are generic, like Walter Hogan and some of the other ones. FootJoy, I don't really pick any of those up anymore. Travis Matthew, I don't pick up. But Onward Reserve, especially when it's a good size like this, and it's an all-over print, this blue color. This is a great shirt. This is a great shirt to resell right now in the spring. This Onward Reserve shirt is going to get you about $25, $30. I did sell some black and red and black striped Onward Reserve that had the University of Georgia logo, so those sold for a little bit more. So keep an eye out for them if they have any kind of special like college, university logo, or any kind of golf course that's pretty famous. You always want to look for those, look them up. I'm still trying to find a way, because I'm not very familiar with golf courses, and I don't really golf, so I'm trying to find a way, and maybe there's a video, or if you know of a video or information you could share that would give me like a short list of really popular golf courses, so that when I'm looking at golf brands, I can automatically recognize one that might be more valuable than the rest. Alright, this is a pretty standard generic item, Johnny O. I probably wouldn't pick up Johnny O anymore, except I got a bunch of dress shirts all together, and this was one of them. I got them at the bins, and actually I just thought it was in great condition, great shirt. It's this blue and red plaid Oxford, and it's gonna sell for about, it's gonna give me about $20. Some of the items, like I said, there's gonna be bread and butter, basic items. $20 is a little bit lower than I'm looking for. I would like to get 25 or more, but if I'm at the bins and I find a good quality item that I know will sell, I don't want to pass it up. All right, number 5 of my 5 brands you do not want to pass up is a new BOLO for me. It's called Woolly. You can see there, their logo is a woolly mammoth. See that right there? So I have a rule. Anything with merino wool, I'm picking up. And I'm looking up the brands if I hadn't heard about them yet. Because merino wool is very soft and you can wash it. It doesn't have to be dry cleaned. And it doesn't itch like regular wool. And for some reason, even the basic merino wool brands sell great for me. So this woolly, everyday merino wool V-neck. It looks like a sweater, but it's very thin. Here you can see it says woolly. This shirt's going to give me $30 to $40. Again, be on the lookout for this brand Woolly, because some of the items go for even more. This is double XL, and it's hard to tell, but it's kind of like a army green, olive, dark olive color. So $30, $40 for that, guys. Merino wool is usually a really good seller for me. All right, back to some brands that everybody says have dropped off. I'll agree with you, they have definitely dropped off, but you find the right item in the right size, the right style, you're still gonna make decent money. This is a good example. This is called a Lululemon Shift Stitch. It's a waffle, kind of like a thermal fit. This is a 3XL. So a couple little helpful tips. Lulu Fanatics is a great website. If you have a Lululemon item that doesn't have the tag anymore and you're trying to figure out exactly what it is, as a search feature, you just go in there, lulufanatics.com, type it in. I think I typed in waffle for this until I looked through all the items, and it's like a historical, they just have everything that Lululemon has ever sold, so you can find the item, find pictures and make sure it matches up, right? This is an item that's easy to overlook because how Lululemon does their logos, they kind of hide them, right? Very understated. This Shift Stitch shirt will give me $35 to $40. Still a good brand, Lululemon. The 3XL is definitely going to help. The waffle thermal material is going to help. So anytime you can get the bigger sizes like that in a good popular brand, you're going to do pretty well. Okay. So if this was a medium, maybe it's more of like a $25 shirt, but because it's a little bit bigger, I get to add some more money to it. Sticking with Lululemon, this is called the Somatic. It's a very thin, it's hard to tell, it's heathered, right? Which is that kind of like lined pattern that looks solid, but it's not. I think it's a running shirt because it has this reflective strip down the back. Okay, missing the tag again. Another item I looked up on Lulu Fanatics. Also, if you don't have the tag, some of the Lululemon shirts will have the size number in the bottom seam. This one doesn't, but like the metal vent tech ones do. But Lululemon size chart will show you the measurements. So if you measure like pit to pit and the length, it will give you the chest measurements, and then you'll have a good idea of what the size is. You'll always want to know that, right? This Somatic long sleeve running shirt gets me $25 on eBay. This is a great brand that even the basic items sell really well. I've only found this brand, I think once or twice before. It's a great brand, Faherty. This is the sun-washed, organic, just a basic blue pocket t-shirt, nothing fancy, decent size, large, $20, right? So $20 for a super basic item. Here's one of the logos that they have. It's kind of like this sunburst logo. And you can see here on the tag, it's a screen printed tag. So Faherty, if you can get any of their like polo shirts or flannels, you're gonna do a lot better than $20, but still a solid brand you wanna keep a lookout for. All right, so usually I don't pick up basic Nike stuff. This probably seems to be the wrong time of the year to pick this up, and not a great brand. But it's a Thermafit. The best part about this was it is a large, and it has, you can see the graphic is in perfect condition. This is basically like new condition. The football season's a few months away, but I have a good idea that this is going to sell well. And I did look up the sold comps, and this should get me about $25 to $30. All right. Chicago Bears, Thermafit. You know, they got a great quarterback, Caleb Williams. So most of the time though, I usually stay away from any Nike items, basic Nike items. I do look them up though, and if I can get $25 or more, I'll probably scoop them up, especially if I'm just picking the item up at the bins. All right, here we go. Another brand that has definitely fallen off, but you can still make plenty of money from, Vineyard Vines, right? The basic cotton Vineyard Vines stuff is not gonna sell well for you at all, but Vineyard Vines on the run and Vineyard Vines Performance, you see this? Vineyard Vines Performance, still really good sales. So light gray pair of golf pants, dry fit material, the performance material, so they're kind of stretchy, right? You're not going to sweat in these. These will get you $25. Should I keep them? I might keep them. They're just great. And if you live in Florida or anywhere like Florida down in the south here, it is so hot, it's so humid. The first lesson I learned when I moved here was don't buy cotton anything. You were gonna drown in it. It's crazy how hot it gets in the summer here, so. All right, again, Nike, a brand I don't usually buy. However, I've had amazing luck with this particular line of Nike, the Nike SB. This is about the third or fourth pair of these like army style cargo pants. These are the ripstop material, you know, it has those lines, it's very thin, so it's not really cottony, it's like military style pants. These are gonna give me $35. I've sold a pair of pants almost exactly like this, Nike SB, where the back was ripped and repaired and they still sold for $25. So for whatever reason, these Nike SB cargo pants are really popular. $35 right here. Alright, lots of themes in this video, so sticking with this military style theme is an actual military item. This one is a little throwback for me. I was in the Air Force and I remember when the pilots would all come up before their flights, they would always have this bag with them. This is a helmet bag. It's called a flyer helmet bag. It's just a olive green, right, nylon bag. They carry their helmet in. It's if you look inside here, you can see that's all these military issued items have this very basic tag. You can tell it's kind of quilted. There's nothing fancy about this bag. Should give me $20 to $25. Also helped me because I got out of the bins, helped me to carry out all my stuff. All right. One last item that I already sold, but I'll put a picture of it up here for you, is a pair of shoes. And like you know, if you watch my videos, I'm not a huge fan of selling shoes, but I am big on looking up brands that I'm not familiar with. Right? And this was a pair. These black sneakers looked very basic. I got them at a brand new Tampa Thrift that opened up, and one day they had half off on all shoes. So of course I'm always looking for a deal. I took a look around the shoes, not a whole lot catching my eye, and then I found this basic pair of sneakers. What caught my eye was the brand. And I even had to write a little card for myself because I'm not familiar with this brand, but Salvatore Ferragamo. And these particular shoes are called the Borg Gancini. I don't know if I'm saying it right or not, but basically it's a really, really great brand. Brand new, these shoes are hundreds and hundreds of dollars. As you could tell from the photos that I'm posting up here of the item that I got, they were in excellent condition. These sold in one day for $150. So keep an eye out for Salvatore Ferragamo, and I hope I'm saying that right. That's a new bolo for me. I'll definitely be buying those shoes, and I'm not sure what else they sell, but I'll be keeping an eye out for it. So I just wanted to tell everybody thank you so much. We're closing in on 600 subscribers, so if you enjoy the content and you want more, like and subscribe. Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys in the next video.